family, this is Miss Hamilton, and it is March 30th, 2020, Monday, and I hope everyone is in great spirits. I hope everyone is feeling good today. This is actually my first enrichment video, and so what I'm going to show you guys how to do today is make a shoelace tying board. This is a great tool to use for really any age, as early as you want to get the kids started on tying their shoes up until, I'm just going to say, really any age level and any grade level, because no matter what your age or grade is, this is a skill that you can definitely use, okay? So in those down times when the kids are maybe playing a video game or watching their favorite show, this is something they can definitely sit on the table, sit on their lap, and actually go ahead and learn this skill, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is show you the supplies that I used, okay? So the first thing that I ended up using was a piece of cardboard. Most of us have a piece of cardboard around the house, and so I just used a piece of cardboard, okay? I also have some laces here, and I got these laces, I believe, from the Dollar Tree. This actually is a better deal. This had 4 pairs in there, the equivalent of 8 laces, but it had 4 pair, and they actually were all different sizes, and I also believe this came from the Dollar Tree. I'm using glue, and you can use a bottle of glue, you can use a glue stick, it's whatever you have on hand. I am also going to use, for my own purposes, a Sharpie, but kids, you guys can use Sharpie markers, you guys can use crayons, whatever it is that you choose to do and whatever it is that you have on hand. I'm also using a pencil because most of my students know that a lot of times that we're doing things, I always tell them to use a pencil first because they know that I do not like wasting supplies. And so for this project, all you have to do is use a pencil, because if you make a mistake, all you have to do is erase, okay? And let's say you went ahead and maybe used something like a marker initially and you feel like you made a mistake, then all you really have to do is turn that paper over and use that side so we are not being wasteful. I've got a pair of scissors here, and for the kids, you're going to use kid-safe scissors or else cut with your adult or older sibling around. I'm also just going to use this sharpener, and it's not for sharpening purposes, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. I'm also going to use construction paper. I got this 36 pack of construction paper from the Dollar Tree, and again, it's a really great deal for $1. Also, for my original board that I showed you that's already completed, I actually used white cardstock for that. This also came from the Dollar Tree, and if I'm not mistaken, this was about, it could have even been 2 for $1. It could have been $1, but if I'm not mistaken, this was 2 for $1. This is a pretty large one, and so that's a great deal, okay? And one of the most important things that I ended up using is a pair of my son's old sneakers, tennis shoes that I've got right here. You can use your sneakers, you can use the kids' sneakers, you can use whatever it is that you choose to use. But this, I found that these ended up working out really well. I tried some slides, I tried another pair of his sneakers, but this was actually just a really great one to use, okay? So what I'm going to do now is just show you how to create this, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a piece of paper, okay? It could be any type of paper that you want. It could be any color that you want. And so the first thing that I did was I am going to use yellow for this and show you all the steps as we go along, okay? I'm going to put it the long way just because his feet were big, and if I did it this way, a piece of the shoe would be hanging off, okay? So I'm going to take it and I'm going to go this way, but again, if your shoes can actually fit on this going this way, this is a good idea too. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the shoes on. I'm going to separate them a little bit, and we want to just leave a little bit of room, about a ½ inch or so on the outside so it's not coming off. And now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trace the shoe, okay? I'm going to trace the first shoe, and then I'm going to go around and I'm going to trace the second shoe. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, okay? And I'm going to put these away because I really don't need the shoes for anything else, okay? And so it has come out like this. I've got 2 shoes on here, okay? Or foot templates. The next thing that I'm going to do is that I just ended up adding some little toe pieces here, and actually some little, I don't even know what this would be called, but maybe the part that you put your foot into, okay? And I just ended up freehanding that, guys. Okay, so I just took the pencil. First thing I'm going to do is sort of just turn the paper around to where the toe part is facing me. And then I'm just going to go ahead and just freehand the tip of the shoe, like so. Again, it's not perfect. It does not have to be perfect, okay? And now, for your foot insert part, I'm going to do the same thing. This one is just going to be a little bit longer, but it is basically the same thing. Again, this is not about perfection. This is basically just about giving your kids the skill, okay? And so even if you wanted to, you don't have to do any of this, and you could actually just poke some holes in anything, a cardboard, a piece of cardstock, whatever you have, and really it'll be the same thing. But because this is a shoe tying activity, and I think that this will be fun and something that they would really like, something that you can use for multiple kids. If you have different ages, you can each make one. You can use the same one, whatever it is that you choose to do, guys, okay? So now I've got little foot insert parts here, and then I've got the toe part, okay? Now, let me tell you why my sharpener is going to come in handy. Because when I did the completed one, I thought that this is approximately about 1 inch, and so what I did was I just took it, put little lines on each side, went up, did the same thing, went up and did the same thing, and I basically just marked it with little lines so I know where to poke the holes at, so later on the laces will go in those holes, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is do the same thing. I'm going to go about 1/2 inch up from the toe piece, okay, is what I'm calling it. And I'm going to do little lines on each side, okay? So if you can see right there, I've got, you see that? Little lines on both sides. And then I'm going to continue to go up about 1/2 inch and do the same thing, okay? And then I am going to do that for both sides. And you can make more if you want to. If you're not going to do the 4 like I'm doing, then I would recommend doing the 6. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same side. That way you'll see at the end how it's coming out. And I'm just going to go ahead and do the same 6 again. If you don't want to do, doing the 8, I should say. And if you're not going to do the 8, then I would recommend you doing 10, just so the laces end up coming out in a way that then they're able to tie the shoe at the end. But so what I've done is I've just used the 8 of them, and I just did it the way that I liked. So you can do it however you want to do, however you normally tie your shoes, do it the same exact way, or however you thread your laces through. Guys, this is to be catered to you, right? And to your kids and how they like it. So at the end, this is what it should look like. Okay? And now I'm going to take that sharp pencil that I was talking about, okay? And this is something that I would probably get the adults involved in, families. And I am just going to poke a hole into each one of those lines, okay? And like I said, I've got a sharp point here, so I really want this to be done by the adults. You do not want to stab it through, okay? Because if you stab it through, you end up having a way bigger hole than you need. And so if I were you, I would just poke it just so slightly to where the lead comes out on the other side. And then we're going to move on. Because as we put the laces in, the hole is going to open up anyway, okay? And I've just poked it right through. Okay, and if you can see, I just poked it right through. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue, and I'm going to do that to both shoes, okay? And you don't need to watch me do that. You continue, and I'll be right back. Okay, families, I'm back, and this is what you have here, okay? So you've got your holes poked in on each side. Now, what I would do is take your Sharpie, your crayon, your marker, whatever it is that you choose to use, and then I would just go ahead and trace this, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to trace both the shoes. Again, this is not about perfection, okay? I'm just going to go ahead and trace both of those shoes, and after you trace the shoes, I would then do the same thing for the toe piece and the same thing for your foot insert as we have named it, okay? So I'm just going to keep on with that. Again, use whatever you want to use. and use whatever you have on hand. This is not supposed to be an activity where you're going to stress yourself out because you do not have the needed supplies, okay? I'm going to actually do the same thing like I said for the toe pieces. You use whatever you have on hand. If it's a marker, then use the marker. If it is a pen, use a pen. If you've got crayons, then go ahead and use that. Definitely, I would recommend for the younger kids to go ahead and use those crayons because that's probably something that's more realistic and you might not want marker all over the place. Okay? And so now we're finished with that and we've got our shoe. The next step is cutting it out. Now, if you are older and you have kid-safe scissors with your adult supervision and permission, then you can go ahead and begin to cut this out. But families, definitely go ahead and assist your child if they need that, or else adults, you can definitely feel free if you really want to make sure that it's cut out, you know, almost perfectly, because again, this is not perfect. Then you can go ahead and do this yourself. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this out. Okay, families, we're back, and I've got my two shoes that are cut out. Okay, I'm going to then go ahead and take my board, and now I got this idea off of Pinterest, and all of them that I saw on Pinterest was just like this. There was no white that I had in the back, but like I said, it just happened to be because I had this cardstock on hand that I chose to use it. And so if you're using cardstock like myself, all I did was take the piece that I needed, I put this over the cardstock, I traced it, and then I cut it out. Okay, and then I glued that cardstock right on there. Okay, that's it. After that, what I ended up doing was, but for this one I won't do that, okay? I'll just use what I have here. So now what I did was, I took both my shoes and I ended up pasting them on the board like this, okay? And you can do it like this if you want to, as if you're in motion. You can do it side by side, which is basically what I did, okay? And then you have this blank side right here that I then ended up writing the rhyme or the poem on mine, which mine says, this is exactly what I ended up getting off of Pinterest, and it says, build a teepee, come inside, close it tight so we can hide, over the mountain and around we go, here's my arrow and here's my bow. But I know that when I was a child, I think that there was a bunny one with the bunny ears, and there's all types of other good ones out there that I don't even know, that you parents may know. If you have a really good one, then go ahead and use that. Comment if you're going to go ahead and do this, and put whatever you want to put on it, because again, I want to cater to you. And to be quite honest, I'd love to see you guys even make up your own, okay? So I want that to cater to you. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to either use a glue stick or my bottle of glue here, and I am going to paste it right on, okay? Just going to go ahead and I'm just going to make sure that I actually put it in the middle of those lace holes. I am not going to put it on those laces, okay? Or I'm not going to put it on the lace holes, I should say, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and just be mindful of that. Okay? I'm just going to put one there, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the other one there. Okay? Again, it's not about perfection. It is about gaining the skill, okay? And so this is what I've done, my people. Okay? Now you've got it on here. And now at this point, I would not write your rhyme just yet. What I'm going to do, and again, this is definitely now for the parents. Use what you want to use, but I think that you might run the risk of poking a hole and actually breaking the lead. And so what I'm going to do is I just have used a pen, right? Almost everybody has a pen on hand. And then I just went ahead and then I poked holes right through, okay? And again, I definitely want the parents to get involved in this part right here, because because it's cardboard, okay? And so once you end up poking it in, you should be able to feel that tip on your fingertip. And again, this is exactly why I want this to only be for the adults. I repeat, only for the adults. Adults, we're going to keep on doing that. If you can hear it sort of popping because you know it came through, and you're just going to go ahead again and be gentle, okay? Go right to the other side. We don't want you to hurt your fingers as well. I'm going to go ahead and turn this around. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side. You hear it just popping. And you know that the pen tip has gone to the other side. And actually, if you're an adult, we take the pain and you'll be able to feel it. Which is, again, why I recommend this only to be done by the adults, okay? And so I've done that. And then there's going to be the holes on the other side. Now, we're almost done, my people, okay? I am going to take some laces, okay? But I'm going to take some that I've already got on hand. I am just going to take, let's say, I'll take the black pair again. Take it out of this little sleeve. And now what I'm going to do, and again, you guys can do it however you choose to do it or however you normally lace up your shoes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the back, okay? I'm going to start from the back here. Excuse me. And I am just going to, actually, I'm not. Excuse me, I'm actually going to start from the front. So I am going to start with that bottom, okay, lace. Or I'm sorry, the bottom lace holes, the ones that are closest to the toe part, okay? And then again, this doesn't have to be perfect, but what I do is I'll just sort of pull this because we really want them to be about even, okay? Just sort of pull that through so they're about even, okay? And then this is what it looks like as of right now, okay? Now I am just basically going to turn this over and I'm going to put the left string in the next top right hole. And again, you'll hear it. If you're having a little trouble, you might just want to use the pen again to poke that hole if you're having trouble, as I just did, right? We can see the hole mark, but we just want to make sure that it's in there. Just going to have it go to the other side, right? I'm going to pull it straight through, just like you would normally do a lace, okay? And then I am going to do the same thing on this side, do it in the X formation. I'm going to take the right string and put it in the next left lace hole. And then I'm going to take the left one and put it in the top right lace hole, okay? Bam. And now it should look like this. I'm going to turn it around again and do the same thing. I'm going to put that right hole, and again, if those holes at the back are a little bit too small, just go ahead and take your pen again and just give it an extra little poke, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put that right one in that final left hole and then put the left one in the final right hole. So the back of mine looks like this and the front of it looks like this, okay? And so then I'm going to go ahead and follow that step, and so I'll be right back. Okay, families, I'm back, and this is what it should look like. I've already gone ahead and tied those laces, okay? And now the next step is just going ahead and adding your rhyme or your poem or whatever it is that is going to teach your children how to tie their shoes. Like I said, I've used this one, and you can use this one as well. Again, like I continue to tell my scholars, use a pencil first, just in case there's a letter that doesn't come out the way you wanted it to, and you make any mistake, then you can easily go ahead and erase it. And so then I will just go ahead and do. And if you did not put the poster board on there, my people, you have to be very mindful of this pencil sort of poking through. You've got to be more gentle with it. And so I would recommend using the poster board, or else you can even use, if you've got extra construction paper, you can even paste that on there as well, okay? And so I'll be right back after I go ahead and write that, okay? Stay with me. Okay, families, I'm back. And so what I've done is I've just repeated that, and I did it in pencil first, and then after I just went ahead and traced it in Sharpie. Now you have your completed shoelace tying board. And if you guys do this and you complete this, what I will do is I will have a special award for your little scholar that has officially learned to tie their shoe. Again, this is such a great activity for when they're bored, they have that downtime. If you want to actually go ahead and maybe take a break from the academic side of things and actually go ahead and do this skill. So this is great. And like I said, hopefully you guys do this. And then by the time we get back to school, there should be lots of kids that end up now knowing how to tie their shoe. And when I say, do you need some help? They're like, no, Miss Hamilton, we already know how to do it. So guys, thank you guys thank you for participating with me. And so if you guys need any assistance with this, if you have any questions, if you need any supplies, please reach out, STEAM at Dr. King, Peaceful Schools, and ask me, and I'll be glad to help. So bye guys, I miss all of you. I hope all of you are well. Until the next one. Bye.